Welcome to Math with Mrs. Cox. We are on Chapter 3, Lesson 12, page 227. This lesson is called Interpret the Remainder, which means every answer will have a remainder that we either need to keep or bump up a number to be able to make sure no one gets left out of a van or a tent or from sitting at a table. Let's begin. Okay, number 1. A state park has 257 evergreens to plant equally in 9 areas. How many evergreens are planted in each area? What does the remainder represent? Evergreens are baby trees, as you can see from the picture. So let's start dividing. 9 will not go into 2, but it will go into 25 twice. Helps if I have my pen on. 2 times 9 is 18. 25 minus 18 is 7. Okay, then we bring down the other 7, so we have 77. 9 will go into 77 8 times. 8 times 9 is 72. 72 from 77 is 5. So remainder is 5. To interpret the remainder 5 means there are 5 evergreens left over, which means these baby plants. So the park will plant 28 evergreens in each area, but then they're going to have 5 left over that they maybe can put in front of a building or just somewhere pretty. So that's how we interpret the remainder for that one. Join me on page 228. Here we go. There are 174 guests invited to dinner. Each table seats 8 guests. How many tables are needed? Here we go. 8 will not go into 1, but it will go into 17. 8 will go into 17 at least 2 times. 2 times 8 is 16. 16 from 17 leaves 1. Bring down the 4. 8 will go into 14 one time. 1 times 8 is 8. And 8 from 14, you can count up if you wish. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That gives me a beautiful remainder of 6. So then my remainder is 6. And we need to interpret the remainder. There are 6 guests left over, which is not enough for a full table of 8. But they need a table. We don't want them standing around. So we need a total of 21 tables. But those extra 6 guests need a table, so 21 plus 1 is going to be 22 tables total we'll be needing. Okay, guided practice. A tent is put up with 7 poles. How many tents can we put up with 200 poles? Here we're going to bracket it up, 7 into 200. 7 will not go into 2, but it will go into 20. At least twice. 2 times 7 is 14. And I know there's 6 in between 14 and 20. Bring down the 0. 7 will go into 60 8 times. 8 times 7 is 56. There's 4 left over. 28 remainder 4. So we can interpret the remainder over here by saying that there's 4. There will be 4 poles left over, which is not enough for another tent. So a total of 28 tents can be put up. And these 4 extra poles, we're just going to keep in case any of the other poles break. Right? That remainder was pretty easy to interpret. All right, vans and students. There are 50 students traveling in vans on a trip. Each van seats 8 students. How many vans are needed? 8 will go into 50. 6 times. 6 times 8 is 48. And we can 8, 9, 10, subtract. There's 2 left over, remainder 2. So we need 6 vans, and we're going to make the other 2 people just ride on their skateboards behind the vans, right? No, that would be funny, but it wouldn't be very practical. So we need a total of 7 vans. You're going to say a 7th van is needed for the 2 remaining people. Number 3, how many payments of $10 would it take Samuel to purchase the scooter shown to the right? You can see how much the scooter costs by that price tag. And we're going to do this. Ooh, look, there's 2 numbers in the divisor. Does that make you scared? Okay, we can do it just the same. How many times will 10 go into 7? Well, it won't, Mrs. Cox. So you're going to take 10 into 79. I know that it'll go at least 7 times because 7 times 10 is 70, with 9 left over. So it's going to take Samuel 7 payments of $10. Then he's going to have an extra payment of $9. So how many total payments will it be? 8 payments. Number 4, Mrs. Hodges makes 144 muffins to sell at a bake sale. She puts them into tins of 5 muffins each. 5 will not go into 1, but it will go into 14 twice. 2 times 5 is 10. Minus will be 4 left over. Bring down that extra 4. 5 will go into 40. Not 9 times. We're going to have to do an 8. 8 times 5 is 40 with 4 left over. So she's going to need 28 tins, and she's going to have 4 left over. Now, I don't like this answer. This is the answer the book gave, but I'm a baker. And I know that if you cook muffins and you have 28 tins for a bake sale, you're going to want an extra tin for those 4 so that they don't get squished when you package them, or so that you can sell them and they look pretty. So I'm going to say you need a total of 29 tins. That's my answer for number 4. Number 5, we're building a fence. And a fence needs 8-foot sections. And we have this much material. So let's see how big of a fence we can make. 8 would go into 189. This is like the vinyl fences that go up in people's yards. So if you can visualize that. Each section of 8 feet takes up certain planks. All right, so 8 will not go into 1, but it will go into 18 twice. 2 times 8 is 16. 16 from 18 is 2. Bring down the 9. So 1 times 8 is 8. 2 times 8 is 16. 3 times 8 is 24. 4 times 8 is 32, and that's way too much. So we have to do 3 times 8. It's 24 with 5 left over. So we have a section that's 8 feet that can make 23 complete. But then we have 5 extra panels. So we need to build another section of the fence to use those extra 5 panels. So we're going to need a total of 24 sections so that we use up all of the panels. And that's how we interpret the remainder. Even though the remainder says 23, we have enough of those panels left over that we can do another section, and we'll have to pour another cement pad for the part of the fence to go in. If you've never built a fence, that's okay. Number 6. Students on the softball team earn $295 from a car wash. How many team banners can they buy if each banner costs $8? So $8 will go into 295. 8 will not go into 2, but it will go into 29 3 times. 3 times 8 is 24. 24 from 29 is 5. Bring down the 5. 8 will go into 55. 6 times 8 is 48. 7 times 8 is 56. That's too much, so we're going to do 6 times 8 is 48. And I know if I turn that to a 4 and that to a 15, there's 7 left over. Remainder 7. So they can have 36 team banners with $7 left over. $7 left over. Number 7, Valerie has 20 stuffed animals. She wants to store them in plastic bags. She estimates she can fit 3 stuffed animals in each bag. How many bags will she need? 3. Okay, so we're going to do 3 into 20. And that will go about 6 times. 18 is what's left over. 2, remainder 2. So she's going to have enough stuffies to fill 6 bags completely, but she has 2 stuffed animals left over, so you're going to need 7 bags. Just that last bag won't be filled completely. This one is a tough one. I've had to do this one 3 different times and I don't like it. So, a couple of different ways you have to do this. How many 6-ounce cups can be filled from 4 gallons of juice? Hint, 1 gallon is this many ounces. So, what you have to do is you have to come over here and do 128 times 4 gallons, because we need to find out how many total gallons we're dividing. 8 times 4 is 32. 4 times 2 is 8, 9, 10, 11. 512. Now that we have the total ounces, we need to divide it by the 6, because that's how many cups we're going to dump it into. We need to know how many 6-ounce cups we can fill equally, because we can pretend they're going to a party and everybody wants to make sure they have the equal amount of apple juice in each of their cups. Heaven forbid if they pitch a fit over it. All right, 6 will not go into 5, but it will go into 51. 6 will go into 51 how many times? 6 times 8 is 48. And I know I can change that to a 4 and that to a 1, 8, 9, 10, 11. Bring down the 2. 6 will go into 32, not 6 times, but 5. So 5 times 6 is 30 with 2 left over, remainder 2. So at the party, you can fill 85 cups perfect. Everybody will have the same amount, and you're going to have 2 ounces of juice left. And you can't put it in another cup because somebody will complain that their cup isn't full. So that's why you just say you have 2 ounces of juice left. All right, number 9 is a booger, and it gives me a headache, a brain booger. It's called a brain builder. If the divisor's 30, which means if we put the 30 right here and this in a bracket, what number can we stick in a bracket that will have a remainder of 8? And this is where you do a bunch of guess and check, but here's the answer. We put 128 because what it will be, it'll be 4, remainder 8. So we can figure that out by just roughly guessing or doing a multiplication. 0, 12, there's 120, and then you add the 8, 128. Number 10, how can I interpret the remainder? Give 2 examples of interpreting the remainder in different ways. Ooh, I'm going to do my cool little text button. Now when I speak, it won't tell you what I'm saying, so it's going to go blank here in just a minute, so don't panic. And here's an example. Remember when they ask for examples, just go ahead and take one from your lesson. So for example, you could do the stuffies. 20 divided by 3 equals 6, remainder 2. Just like in this example right here with the stuffies, we needed an extra bag to take care of all the stuffies, so these 2 stuffies didn't have somewhere left over. All right, friends, that is the answer for your guided practice. Move on to the homework.